Martin Gray and Valentin Cassidy have their share of adversarial moments on General Hospital, but their portrayers, Michael E. Knight and James Patrick Stuart, are best of pals. And SoapHub can state that beyond a doubt. Michael E. Knight and James Patrick Stuart are fast and furious friends. James Patrick Stuart, Valentin Cassidy, and Michael E. Knight, Martin Gray, talked about just how far their friendship goes back during a recent GH fantasy event. They met over 3 decades ago after Stuart got word from his agent about All My Children searching for a new character. AMC, of course, is where Michael E. Knight played the character of Tad the Cad Martin, earning 3 Daytime Emmys for his work in Pine Valley. My agent called me and told me that there's this show, All My Children, and they're casting the role of Will Courtland, shared Stuart, who decided to watch the show so that he could get a feel for it. He saw a scene with Knight, Tad, and Katie McLean, Dixie, in bed together. It had, Stuart recalls, the most charming, romantic, comedic dialogue. It was just charming. Stuart had a nearly 4-year run on the show playing Will, who was eventually killed off by Janet Green, Kate Collins, after he tried to attack Haley, Kelly Ripa. While his time in Pine Valley was limited, he says that he and Knight have become dear friends ever since. Through thick and thin, James Patrick Stuart, Valentin, and Michael E. Knight, Tad, have shared many adventures and personal moments over the decades. They were invited to the White House in the early 1990s along with many other soap stars. And Knight is godfather to Stuart's second son Colin Michael. My wife, Jocelyn, is actually a fan of Michael's, Stuart shares. Knight added that Jocelyn's mother is also a fan of AMC. Patrick said to me once, "You have to do me a favor. You have to meet my in-law," Knight recalls. The meet and greet took place at the, now shuttered, Broadway Deli in Santa Monica. A James Patrick Stuart by any other name. There's a reason Knight's been referring to Stuart as Patrick in this interview. Michael actually knows me as Patrick, Stuart says, noting that James Patrick Stuart is a stage name he adopted so as not to be confused with Patrick Stewart, Star Trek, The Next Generation. Everyone calls him James. To me, he's Patrick, says Michael E. Knight. General Hospital, GH, airs weekdays on ABC. Check your local listings for airtimes. For more about what's coming up in Port Charles, check out all the latest that's been posted on GH Spoilers, and for an in-depth look at the show's history, click here. One of the best Zooms ever. Thank you Chappis to and Michael, you guys made this event a lot of fun with non-stop laughing. To the fans, thank you for joining us, we appreciate you all and hope you had as much fun as we did. pic.twitter.com/u4sbbwjmzn, Fantasy Events, at Fantasy Events, January 17, 2022. Hey, Michael, you remember that time the First Lady invited us to the White House for a Christmas party? pic.twitter.com/8spectme, James Patrick Stuart, at Chappis2, November 5, 2021. Ad block test.